Man, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? How are we doing? Let's get some music going here. Checking sound levels, checking sound levels. How are we doing? There we go. There we go. All right. Guys, we're killing it this morning. Already, we're killing it. You may notice that your chats are not appearing on screen, and that's because when I woke up first thing this morning, the little chat window was not functioning properly. It just showed up as this blank gray box. And I was not about to worry that much about fixing it. I'm not in the right state of mind for tech support right now. So we just said, screw it, we'll do it live. That's what we said. And so here we are. You may notice that I've got an extra thing on here that, for those of you who are very perceptive, you may notice that I've got a little extra thing on here. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek as to a little something that I worked on. It's not much, but it's something. This is the landing page that I've created for Foundry for the new masks campaign. It is, I did not realize that you could create, things like this on Incarnate. So it is, it's very cool. There's a lot of things you can do with Incarnate. A lot of things. So I'm a fan, and what I plan on doing, and these are already, there's a couple of clues on there already. But you can see, it doesn't really render with full resolution as I look in here. But there's little clues in here already. But these are clues that the players have already got their hands on. I've already provided it to them so that way they understand the premise of what we'll be doing. Or where we're starting, I should say. So that's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of that. Because what I want, my main goal. Hello, Chrysanth. How are you? My main goal of the Masks game is to just simply make it better than the last one. And I can already tell. The wild thing about it is, and I'm not even done reading it yet, but just in my efforts of getting it all put together and reading it and reading over the clues and the way it's constructed and everything, and I'm already convinced that it is better on a very deep level than Horror on the Orient Express. I think it's better written. The clues are more engaging and mysterious. It's kind of one of those things where I think keeping track of the clues in this one is a lot more necessary, which might make my job a little bit more difficult. But that's fine. That's totally fine. We don't need to have, I mean, if it's more difficult for me, then that's totally fine. If that leads to a better game. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my throat's a little dry. I'm not about to lose my voice or anything. I just, they, oh, shoot. What am I doing here? You know what I think I might do? Here, let's do this. I do want to finish furnishing this because we've been working on it for a long time. Well, so here's the thing. You're going to have to rely on the players to keep track of those clues. Good luck. Yeah. I fully understand where you're coming from there, Chrysanth. But see, what I have done is I have found that it is Foundry is, because we'll be using Foundry instead of Fantasy Grounds. And so I have found that I think Foundry is a little bit more player friendly. And so I have more or less devised a way for them to keep track of everything a lot more easily, because it wasn't super intuitive. And you could do this. You could have slided. You could have slid the clues onto your character sheet so you can keep track of them. But what I'm doing on Foundry is I've already got like a journal created that all of the players have access to, and as soon as they find something, I'm going to slide that clue into that journal, so that way they've always got it. But not only that, what I'm planning on doing with that landing page is every time they find a clue, I'm going to plop that clue down on the landing page. So it's kind of always in the back of their mind. So yeah, there's a lot of intuitive stuff on there. They have clues on Foundry that make it to where I can create a tile that they can kind of manipulate and drag around and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. And I've also found in listening to another network run the game that there are some rules that I wasn't 100% privy to. So there will be some new rules that we'll be doing. Or not new rules, but there'll be rules that pertain to this upcoming game that did not necessarily pertain to the last one. For instance, I did not realize that anytime the investigators run into a mythos monster, their Cthulhu mythos goes up. It just goes up inherently, which is cool because that drives their maximum sanity downward. So I'm very excited about that. I think that'll be great. But I got to tell you, like the one thing that is really holding me back is the fact that Fantasy Grounds already had Mask of Nyarlathotep put together and all arranged all nice with the clues and everything, and they had that nice background and all that stuff. Oh, I am out for blood this time. I am. I've already had them. I've already had most of the players create a backup character. We're gonna stream the initial character creation for their main, but they've already created a backup character. Yeah, it is a lot of time. I have sunk a lot of hours into this already, which is partially why I'm not done reading it yet. But I mean, it's fine because I do have a good time. They have some good intuitive tools where I can just copy and paste all of the like character stat blocks, and it generates a character sheet for those NPCs. But there's a lot. There is a lot of them. I mean, this book is this book is, 664 pages or something like that. I don't know. It's just this massive tome. And, yeah, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of characters. There are more items, more books, more mythos tomes, things like that, more images, more handouts. There's just more of everything. Like this campaign is going to be bigger on every level. And so, not to get your guys' hopes up too high, you know what I mean? But I've been listening to another network run the game. I'm not going to tell you who, because I don't want you to go and watch them. But I will say that if I'm half as good as the guy who runs this game that I'm listening to, it's going to be a good game. There will be a train, not a train, but several trains. But it'll be those trains will be just the loading screens, basically. Oh man. So that's what I've been up to, and on top of that, I've been working on putting together the other campaign that I'm going to be running, which I've already maybe it's a little too soon for me to be saying, but it'll be the Electric State. The Electric State is going to be the setting, so it's like retro. It's like retro futuristic 90s type thing. So everything's going to have that 90s aesthetic and everything. But there's going to be some aspects of it that are a little bit futuristic and wacky. And so I've been working a lot on getting that game put together too, because that's another one that I have to build from scratch. So I'm very, very excited about it. Very excited about both of them. Hey, that's you know what? You find time to read when you can, Chrysanth. You find time to read when you can. All right. Let's see. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. I think really all I want to do with this is I just want to outfit this main room here real quick. And by outfit, I mean I just want to furnish it. Would be a better term. I just want to furnish it. And then I think this map will be done. It's just that this, I just want some stuff around the perimeter of this room just to fill it out just a little bit. But I'm looking here, and this is a bit of an empty space that might need a little bit of something. Just something. What it is, I don't know yet. But, yeah, it definitely needs something. A pickup date on the terrifying kitten? What is this? Is this something that I wasn't aware of, Chrysanth? Did I? Oh, the werewolf cats. Yeah. That is kind of a terrifying cat. I'm not gonna lie. So um I have a question for you, Chrisanne. Did you get a notification that we went live? Because I'm thinking, let's see. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Discord and YouTube kick. Okay, okay. I'm just making sure because our Discord is not doing it, and I don't know why. So I might have to look into that too. Everything breaks. Everything keeps breaking. I didn't get a single notification that we went live. But that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Yeah, everything does break all the time. It's so much fun technology. Let's see. Show a little bitty bonsai tree. Let's put a little bitty bonsai. Well, that one's not. That's not little bitty. Put that there, and I'm gonna have to put a like put a little pot there or something. I know. The at, like, seeing your name in chat with the at sign in front of it is discombobulating. Ooh, you know what? You know what'll make a good flower pot? This chimney. Of course, it matches that, but there we go. A little bonsai tree. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like they're nixing the whole aspect of anonymity in chat for some reason, and I don't know why. Because some people might have their full name in uh in their at handle and don't might not want it. They want that anonymity. It doesn't really make any sense to me. What's the point of having a username if they're not going to use it? Oh man. I gotta tell you guys, last night I had a few too many. I was on Sevi's stream last night, and I was already about 2 sheets to the wind, and then I had a few more to get to the third and fourth sheet. I am curious though, where did that saying even come from? 3 sheets to the wind. Yeah, no clue. No clue, Chrysanth. Your confusion about that is the same as mine. What am I looking at here? Looking at lines? Oh yeah, I'm looking at lines. I want stamps. Wasn't it sailing or something? I must be missing something, Chrysanthemum. I'm not sure what you mean. Oliver definitely would have died if I showed up as drunk as I was. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. I haven't had a chance to watch yesterday's episode yet. How did it go? Oh, it refers to sales? I had no idea. Hello, 40 Viking, by the way. Hello, Eccentric. How are you guys doing? Good to see you, fellas. Good to see you. Well, thank you for stopping in before your game. I do appreciate it. I hope you have fun on your game. Wait. Oliver shot you and gave you 2 wounds? Oh, did he? He probably failed a fear check, didn't he? Yeah, I'm kind of sorry about that, Chrysanth. I mean, Daybreak. That I didn't mean to. I would never have done that under my own. Crit failed on a bow and innocent. Oh no. See, if that were me, I would never have crit failed that roll. Would never have done it. More than Muppet Man finally rolling bad. Okay. Oh, you know what? I guess Arudai just finally decided to I don't know if he decided to turn up the heat or um if the book is just like, okay, this is where it really gets deadly. Or if we were just rolling that frickin' well up until this point. That's Doggo. I don't know where she went. She probably went outside. Did houses in feudal Japan have chairs? It might be because Sevi left. Yeah. Yeah. He told you once we left the asylum, things got rougher. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. The asylum was kind of the starting area. Nothing in there was particularly dangerous. The Night Gaunt was... the Night Gaunt was a little wild. But other than that, I mean... I think that the initial Night Gaunt fight was the only reason I think that one was so wild was because of the environment. It wasn't even the Night Gaunt itself. It was just like, we just couldn't see it to land an attack on it. But I think the second time we didn't fight it in the eyeball rain. Because it was like raining eyeballs or something. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. I feel like we need some statuary. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, Chrysanth. What's up, Biggles? Did the time change happen? I think so. I think it did. I don't know. All my stuff changes automatically now, so I don't even really have to worry about it. Like, I don't even have a clock anywhere on my wall that I need to worry about changing. So my watch syncs to my phone syncs to my time zone, my computer syncs to my time zone, all thanks to the internet. Is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow that the time changes? I don't know. But I've got man, the next couple of days are going to be good for me because I'm going to work on getting a lot of stuff ready. No, tomorrow morning. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, I've got quite a bit of work to do because the days are quickly approaching when we'll be starting masks, and I want to get the Electric State game up and running before too long. So, pardon. Oh man, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Whew. Man, I don't know if you guys can hear it. But man, my throat is just killing me. Tomorrow you are. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so it's not even 7 o'clock. Wait, are you 3 hours behind right now? What time is it for you right now, Biggles? Mm. Yeah, we got 14 peeps. 14 peeps in the chat. Hello, all 14 peeps. I see you out there. Thanks for stopping in, even if you're just lurking. 6:49 right now. Okay, that's what time I thought it was for you. Gold statues. I don't think you would necessarily need gold statues. That's like is that a lion? I think maybe the fox or the kitsune. I just don't know where to put it. Like I feel like we need a statue in here somewhere, but it's wooden floors, and these aren't on a pedestal. So I'm having a bit of a hard time. Let me see something. Hello, Nozaku. This nonsense is called Saturday morning map making. Welcome in. Is this a table? Shadow, default. This is a table, right? So I'm getting hounded with notifications here. Okay. Let's shrink this down just a tad. And we're going to take this and put him on top. We're going to shrink him down a little bit. These have shadows. Let's turn this shadow off. Like we don't need shadows on these. None. 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 Because this is basically, all this is to give the tile work here a bit of a framing mechanism in the center of the floor. But I also feel like, these are strokes. Would it be weird if I put an altar right here? Just something for... It's like a little thing that people might pay their respects to when they walk in the door. Or maybe it'd be off this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is what we'll do. We're gonna... There we go. And then we can put like a little pillow. This at bullshit needs to be made optional. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It depends on the culture, I guess. Yeah, you know, I'm not super familiar with Japanese culture, so I'm a little unlearned, so this is going to have anybody who uses this is going to have a little bit of a suspension of disbelief here. But that's perfectly fine, I think. It's perfectly fine. Let's see, how big is this? This is, it's at a 39. So we're going to put this up at a 39. There we go. Okay. I don't know if we need too much more, honestly. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we need something else on here? Or should we call it good? Let's give it one more once over here. Oh, I'm grabbing and dragging stuff. I might come in here at a different point and play with some lighting and stuff like that. But for right now, I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And then I will get this put on El Patreon after the stream today. But for now, I'm going to switch over to something else here. There's my beautiful, beautiful, ugly mug. All right, later, eccentric. All right, because we're going to try something a little bit new. A little thing that, I know, Chrysanth, I know, I'm sorry. This is a little something that Frost actually turned me on to. And, oh, it's not responding. Well done. Well done. And this is going to completely... Yeah, the Banana Man is, he's an ever-growing threat. It might be the, other map making thing. Holy smokes. I'm just absolutely washed out. All right, hold on. I'm gonna turn my lights on in the room, and hopefully that helps. Let's see. This is a little bit better. I'm not quite so washed out. All right, so. Boo, boo, boo. All right. So this is Canvas of Kings. And I have not used this yet. So I don't know what to expect. But for right now, I think we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to play with it a little bit. Okay, so Deco Tool. What is this? Add image. Okay. So that's for labels. Environment, ambient light, color, weather, wind direction, cloud shadows. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, there's fog. It's kind of hard to see. Interesting. Okay. So, room tools. Biggles, you can call me whatever you would like. Oh, hey. My baby girl's come to see me. I was hoping that they would have a little bit more of a selection of textures, and I guess maybe this isn't the right tool for it. But I've been looking for something that has more modern textures and not like sci-fi. Slut popsicle. Okay, you know what? Now that is my college punk band's name. I don't know how you found that information, but thank you for that. But yeah, I was hoping for more modern assets so I could create some battle maps for for an upcoming game. Oh, I hit the spot for her. Is that the spot? You like that? Yeah, there you go, baby. A good dog. Good dog. Good dog. All right. Let's see. Light source. Pillar. Music equipment. Metal goods. Oh, okay. So you don't really choose what you want. Okay, I see. Let's see. Rope with flags, crates, cloth rope. Just put random stuff together for insults. They use cock rooster. Okay. Okay. Oh, shit rooster. Okay. I got to figure out what show you're talking about because that sounds odd. Grass, flowers, branches. Interesting. Okay. Plot tool. Sea, lake. Ground with cobblestone. How do you, like, how big can you get? And how do you scale it for a map? Okay. Oh, wow. Once you're finished, you have a joke to tell. Well, that does remind me. So I've got a joke that especially Chrysanth would like. Oh, I gotta stretch out so I can tell this one. So there is a horse walks into a bar, sits down at a bar stool. The bartender looks at the horse and says, "You know what? You look like you're in the mood for a nice lager." The horse sits and just stares at the bar and then looks up at the bartender and says, "I don't think I am." And boom, just disappears. You see, for those of you who don't understand, that is a play on the French philosopher René Descartes. But if I were to have explained that before I told you the joke, then that would have been putting Descartes before the horse. Hey, I like that one, Chrysanth. You cannot tell me that that's a bad joke. That's a good joke. That is a great joke. Interesting. Okay. So, okay, what am I doing here? Scale. Maybe I shouldn't be a slut popsicle anymore. I see how it is. Okay. No, Chrysanth is here on YouTube. Fantastic. Do you not see her? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I need to Can I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? Okay, now you gotta... Oh, she may have blocked you on everything. Now I need to figure out how do I get rid of this? Oh, show grid. Is there like an eraser tool? There we go. Delete. Can I detach? Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right, so I can change the height of that asset. Oh, I see lines over here. Spectator window. I am so confused as to what I'm looking at here. Oh, I crashed it. I don't see Chrysanth other than an at version. Well, yeah, the at version is on here. Tried to message Chrysanth. Fantastic. Decided to try to message you on Discord about something very important. All right, let's see if this works. Software is not perfect, feature complete, and very likely to contain bugs that I did not find even after a long time of testing. There will also be more assets. Automatic saving at small intervals is activated to save your data in case of a crash. I welcome your feedback, ideas, and suggestions. Sweet. All right. I just don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Okay. So here's what I want to do. Why? What? What is going on here, man? There we go. So let's put a logging camp. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. Little trees are waving. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. It's just like a little added thing. It's not going to show up on the map, but it's just a little added thing that's adds a little bit more depth. It's cool. I like that. There, we're gonna put that, and then what I want to do. Well, I guess it would make sense if there's like uh. Whoa! There's a lot of people in here. All right. We're gonna take the density down to just a couple. There we go. See, you got the little peeps in here. Just doing their job, walking around, I guess. Plant row, hedge, trees. Small dirt path. Here, we're just gonna go. Boo 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 boo. Okay. So we're gonna do a field. Pretty decent size there. Hey. Oh, that's cool. You can just add little houses on top? Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. Ah! That's cool. You can see the little light coming out from out of there. That's pretty cool. I like that. What I would like to know here. I kind of want to. Can I just like get rid of all of it? Yeah. Here's what I want to do here. So we're going to do this. And then boop, 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 boop. Okay. This reminds me a little bit of Manor Lords. I don't know if you guys remember when we played Manor Lords a little bit a while back. Which I've not actually played in a while. Wall with square tower. Thatched roof. This is path tool, right? Yeah. Let's do Oh, cool. So I can make this wider or narrower if I want to. But what I want to see if I can do is, can I round the edges out a little bit? Oh, that's cool. I don't know if you guys can see this. The little tree, I guess since the tree is interacting. Yeah, the little trees, they make little ripples. That's so cool. Hey, Nomi, how are you? Okay, well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I don't think a tree would be in the river. I want to see. Hmm. I'm going to straighten that out just a little bit. I want to see if there's a way to smooth that out because it's got kind of like hard angles. It's pretty cool. I like this a lot. Um, let's get rid of. How come the delete button doesn't work? There we go. Okay, I see what it's doing. Okay, so it'll put things on one side of the road if it's not colliding with anything. That's what it looks like. Hey, little boards. Look at that. Logging camp cottages. Okay, okay. Object tool. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. All right. I'm just trying to figure out like, how is it, what is it doing to create these assets? Like, how is it deciding what it wants to do here? Hmm. There we go. Okay. Because some of the shadows made it look like there was uh like some of them were floating off the ground. It's weird. All right. Let's see. Patternless path. Small stone path, footprints, small dirt path. Let's see. All right. Man. Footprints, small wall, palisade, stone road, paved road, wide dirt road. Here we go. All right. Market Field Forest cottages. Okay, we're gonna do cottages. Um. Properties. There's the elevation, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of these again. Because we're still learning here, guys. We're still learning. This is a learning curve here. Okay. I feel like the more I go, the more I'm going to have to extend this out because I feel like here, we're in small dirt path. Okay. We're going to continue that here. That's just going to go around. And then I think a stone bridge. There we go. So I'm curious, how was everybody's Halloween? Did anybody give out candy? Did anybody dress up for anything? I was boring, man. Like I didn't dress up as anything. But I was never uh really one to celebrate Halloween when I was a kid, and I think I've probably told you guys about this before. It's just one of those things that, you know, never did as a kid. How far out can I go? Holy moly, so I can get pretty big with this. Wow. No, your parents didn't get any trick-or-treaters? Are they left with a bunch of candy now? Dude, that's the crazy one. Is when you get high schoolers that are still out trick-or-treating. I'm like, dude. That is kind of sad, Chrysanth. On the positive side, though, I mean, you know, they had a little bit of a peaceful evening, I suppose. When I was over at my friend's house, they live in a very heavily trick or treated area, and I think the police actually had to go up that street and block off a side of the street so people wouldn't park on it. To kind of help, you know, reduce the traffic. But, like, apparently there was a house that got bought just down the street from where my friends live. I guess it was a family from New York or whatever. They had a logboat truck, and basically a logboat truck is like it's like a beer trailer. They had logboat on tap. If you're not familiar with logboat, they had a band play it out in the front yard, and just thousands of people walking up and down the street trick or treating on all these houses. Like I went and I spent. Honestly, I probably spent the least out of my friends on candy, and I still spent $60 on candy to hand out. My friends who own the house probably spent a couple $100 on candy to hand out. I know they did not a head count, but last year there was 2,000 kids that went out and went up and down that street. Yeah, your neighborhood had a food truck parked outside. Yeah. So like some places, like it's an event, man. You dressed up for work. Clark Kent, I saw this morning. Oh no, Hassan did the same thing. I saw there was a ton of kids. Like every year, kids do something that I have no idea what it is. For whatever reason, we saw like half a dozen Loraxes. Didn't see any like last year. I don't know why all of a sudden this year the Lorax is a big Halloween costume. But saw Loraxes. Let me see. A lot of K-pop Demon Hunter, which I'm still not familiar with. I have no idea what the hype is about it. My buddy tells me it's it's like a Disney movie when Disney movies were good, is what he says. Yeah, it was a freaking ton of kids. There was a lot. Before Sevi streaming, you were a minion. I did see a lot of minions last night too. Uh, yeah, I'm the same way, Biggles. I don't have Netflix either, so I'll never watch it. I'm sleeping on K-pop Demon Hunters. Well, you know, I don't want to give Netflix my money anymore. I'm tired of them continuing to jack up their prices. It seems like every 6 months, it's like they nickel and dime you. Oh, we're bringing the price from $22.99 to $24.99. Before long, it's going to be $24.99 a month. I'm like, no. Especially now, the last season of Stranger Things is coming out, so I might end up getting it just for that. And while I have it, maybe I'll watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know. But man, they just keep raising the prices, and most of the stuff that's on Netflix, at least last time I checked, is not worth that money. It's not worth that much money. Although, and I will say, like, if they still had The Office on there, then I would still have it. But I'm not gonna get Peacock to see The Office either. Well, yeah, know me. I guess I could, but there's lots of things in the Seven Seas which you can pull up in the nets along with your catch, if you catch my drift. My friend sails the Seven Seas all the time, and he's a lot better at that kind of thing than I am. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Let's see. I need to figure out. So cottages. Excuse me. Let's just put this. Oh, I don't actually. Create DuckGo objects. District design. Oh. Interesting. Wait a minute. Hold on. Might even drop Crunchyroll since they keep losing animes. Really? That's a good point. Fantastic. I don't know why anyone would need a streaming service while I am up and about. Even though I don't stream nearly as much as Sevi, or really, I don't stream very much at all. You know what's crazy is I spent a bunch of money upgrading my computer, and I found out that, you know, even what I upgraded it with, I'm not going to be able to stream Battlefield or anything like that. I can still do other little games and stuff like that, but I find that, I don't know, I'm just not as apt to go on camera as other people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Some people are very ready and willing to get on camera all the time. And that's just not me. Like, I like getting on camera here and come and talking to you guys and everything like that, but I don't know. There's also a certain level of responsibility that comes with streaming. Like, you have to be like entertaining. I don't know if entertaining is the right word, but I mean, yeah, kind of. But there's a certain expectation, and I'll tell you this much: like, when I am at work, I am constantly shifting ways of being people pleasing, because when I'm working, like, I have to quote unquote build a relationship with people, so that way they can, you know, trust me and stuff like that. And because I'm going to be more or less handling their money, and so they got to be able to trust me, and shifting back and forth. Because if you have a customer who comes in, and that customer likes to joke around a lot, they like to, you know, they got a new joke every time they come in. They're always in a good mood. They want to see you in a good mood. They want to make you laugh, and so you laugh at all their jokes. And then you got another guy who comes in who's all just down to business. Get it done right now, get it done right. And I don't need the pleasantries. And then you got another person who always wants to talk about their problems, and you have to be sympathetic. And just shifting gears back and forth like that I know it sounds trivial, but it is very much exhausting. And by the time I'm done with that, like, all of this is just so much, it's so much. It can grow to be a lot. I don't know why my phone just decided that it wanted to listen to me. What's up, Huck? I have a face the world needs to see. Yeah, exactly, Chrysanth. I don't want to always be on. That's why, like, half the time I'm just like, I'm not even doing anything on screen here. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. I'm more talkative with you guys than I am with really just about anybody else. Total social exhaustion. Never wanted to talk to people. Dude, yeah, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why, like, in my own career, right now I'm customer facing. Long-term goal, no customers. Like I want to be kind of in the background. I'm one of the people that they come to, that employees come to for information. Like, ideally I'd like to be an underwriter. But I know you have to get certain certifications, and unfortunately that means that I would have to decrease my activity here online. But that is something that's something that I've been considering quite a bit on considering pursuing. Because honestly, as cool as it would be to do this full time, it's not realistic. Not for me. Like, there are certain people, like Sevi is very good at this. She's got a very magnetic personality, and she is fine being on all the time. And I know, because I've talked to her about it, and she's exhausted from it. She gets exhausted from it too. But she's fine with it. I just don't have that. I don't have that capacity after I get off work. All right. Well, Paul, I'm sorry to hear that you haven't seen anything this morning. I know a buddy of mine was getting up at like 4 a.m. to go hunting. I don't know if he saw anything yet or not. Be a shadow broker. Dude, I would totally do that. But then, Commander Shepard comes in and he ends me. Or she. Actually, probably she, because the Fem Shep was vastly superior as the Shep. Ever tell you that was the answer to my interview question? To an interview question? Manager asked me why I wanted to work in a lab, and my response was, hate dealing with the public. Yeah. I actually, so not to toot my own horn or anything, but my branch had a 50th anniversary, and there was a bunch of like bigwigs that came out. So my boss's boss came out, but he comes out, pretty often. Like, he and I are pretty tight. Not like we're friends or anything like that, but it's funny because he's a regional sales manager for like the greater area. So he looks over probably a dozen, 2 dozen branches. I don't know exactly how many. But he looks over all these branches, and given my sales experience, he has gravitated towards me and will come to me and just like talk about certain things. And it helps that I'm doing really well as such a new employee. But he would come to me with like, he's like, oh, well, I leased this car and they did this. They messed up the paperwork on this. Like, what should I do with your experience in car sales? Like, what are they doing? What should I do? How should I follow this up? And he would come to me with that kind of stuff. So we're already, we're already kind of on that level. But then my boss's boss came out. And so he overlooks a couple of dozen branches. And his boss she oversees him and a bunch of other regional guys like him. And she came out to this and was basically like, asking questions about me, where I'm going and stuff like that. And the thing that gets me is like, so I made a good impression on her, which I'm very happy about. But the thing is that there was like they were talking about where I saw myself or what my aspirations were within the company. And, he was showing her my sales numbers and stuff like that, and my production. And she was asking if I had any aspirations for management. And he's like, yeah, I think so. And he came by and he told me, he's like, yeah, I was talking to insert name here. And and she was asking me if you what your aspirations were, and asked me if you were into the idea of management. I told her yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be like goal right there. You know, I would love that. In reality, not really. Like, am I going to turn down a promotion, especially one that pays as well as that does? And keep in mind, you know, pay scale for me is probably way different than it is for somebody else. So if somebody makes 60 grand, that's a lot of money for me, you know, because I've never made 60 grand. But I like shrank back a little bit whenever he mentioned that they were talking about potential management positions for me, and I was like, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, anyway, lots of deer season. Yep. You got your job by telling your boss if you pick someone else, you will always question if you made the right choice, and you won't have that problem with me. And every one-on-one, my boss says I was right. You basically Peyton Manning your interview. That's fantastic. I love that answer. I absolutely love that answer. I'm going to have to steal that one. Can never play FinChep. Always recognize Jennifer Hale's voice. And she just sounded like Felicia Hardy from the Spider-Man cartoon trying to sound tough. Honestly, I hadn't heard Jennifer Hale, or at least not that I was aware of before I played Mass Effect. Yeah. Yeah, the voice of Jack in Mass Effect is also the female voice of the Soul Survivor in Fallout 4. Yeah. You can definitely tell. But she's a lot softer in Fallout 4. It still irks me that they did a voiced protagonist in Fallout 4. I'm not a huge fan of that. But, you know, it is what it is. So these are, I guess, Burgage plots. Male Shep is the best Shep? Oh. Man, I don't know. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I like Mark Meer. By the way, Mark Meer is a hell of a keeper for Call of Cthulhu. He does stuff for, I think he runs for Chaosium. But I don't know. I think Jennifer Hale just really knocked it out of the park with FemShep. Hello, Freddie. Hello. I do like the male Shep. I do like some of the delivery that Mark Meer does is very good. Like, my favorite line that he has in that entire trilogy is you're a bean counter, Sean. That's like, that delivery is perfect for me. I love it. You prefer looking at women characters, so even though you never played it, you'd pick female. Dude, you should. I know that you, Biggles. I know that you're into. Well, you're more into like, kind of like the JRPG stuff. But Mass Effect is worth a play, man. I'm telling you. Mass Effect is definitely worth a play. Troy Baker is a voice god. Yeah, I mean, he can do just about anything. Like, Troy Baker's work as Joel in The Last of Us was impeccable. Like, he was so good. He was so good in that game. trying to figure out. So they got a well in their little cottage plot. See, I wonder if I need to just, like, place the houses and stuff individually. Because it's not doing, like, neighborhoods or anything like that. Mass Effect come out, 2009 sounds right. I want to say Mass Effect 1 came out 2007. Let's see. Mass Effect 1. Yeah, it was 2007. Mass Effect 2, I think, was 2009. No, Mass Effect 2 was 2010, and then Mass Effect 3 was 2000. I remember specifically Mass Effect 3 was 2013. Well, because I didn't play Mass Effect until probably, I want to say it was probably 2011 when I first picked Mass Effect up, because I remember walking into GameStop. Or yeah, 2012. 2012. I thought it was 2013. I think it was 2011 when I first picked it up, because I remember walking into GameStop and asking the guy up there. I was like, "Hey, I like the cover of it, and I like the back. You remember the days when they had game screenshots on the back of the cases? Those were the days." I was like, "This looks really interesting. I wanted to play it." And so I picked it up and I took it to the guy and I was like, "Hey, does it matter which one I played these in?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "You're going to want to play Mass Effect 1 first." It's like, okay, that's what I did. Hello, Simon Zeroon on the Twitch side. What's up? Yeah, that's back when the cover art actually mattered. Now everything's digital, which kind of sucks. It sucks that we've kind of embraced it. And I myself have just as well. Like, I haven't bought a physical copy of a game in a long time. So we don't actually own our game libraries. That's true. You also borrowed, you son of a bitch. You also borrowed my my copy of Fallout 3 for the first time. And you had my Xbox for like 3 months. And I didn't say anything. I didn't mind. I can't remember what I was doing at that time. I think maybe I also had a PlayStation or something like that at the time that I was playing. Maybe. I don't even remember. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. They got rid of everything that you can play it. When's the last time you got a laptop or a PC that had a disk drive? My PC doesn't have a disk drive. I know that much. I specifically bought my Xbox, which is currently broken. I need to get it fixed. But I specifically bought my Xbox and my PlayStation to have the disk drive. And I haven't bought a physical copy of any game. The only time I've used my disk drives is when I'm playing old games for PlayStation 4. Buy collector's editions of everything. Yeah. I think the last collector's edition of something I bought was Fallout New Vegas, which that was an awesome collector's edition. That was awesome because it came with a little platinum chip. It came with a little comic book, a hardcover comic book. It wasn't very long. It was like 30 pages, maybe 20, maybe even 20 pages. It had a deck of cards that each one of the cards had one of the casinos that's on the New Vegas Strip, and it had I feel like it came with something else. I'm trying to remember. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it came with something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, but um, ooh, ox cart, ox cart. We're gonna put the ox cart there. Citizen. Is there an ox? Wait, there's an ox cart. Is there an ox? I see an ox cart with no ox. Now I gotta find an ox. I figured it came with an ox. Oh, okay. I just need to find the right one. There we go. The last one was Farmagia from Hiro Mashima. The guy who made Rave Stories, Fairy Tale, and Eden Zero. That's all. I don't. I know. I've heard of Fairy Tale. I'm not familiar with any of the other things. Digital, yeah, I can see that. Digital does help indie developers. That's for sure. Like, so that way they can put their stuff directly up on the marketplace and um, get it, you know, basically directly to the consumer, as opposed to having to go through a publisher and finding distributors and things like that. I can see that. Um, Here, we're gonna a little dirt path here. Oh my gosh. What am I gonna do? What? Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is what we're doing here. See, why'll it do? I see. Okay, okay. That's how we do it. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so if I do a little small dirt path that branches off here and then just kind of comes back, and then I do another that comes down and around. I can do this and that and that. Okay. So that's how this works. That's great. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's interesting. I like this. Okay. And then the physical space needed for some people's games libraries would be nuts. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I only got how many games on my computer? Like 6, maybe. Hello, Clueless. Yes, this is yeah, long time no see indeed. Let's see. The last 2 weeks I had to work overtime. I didn't have to work overtime. I was given the option to do so. But I did it because your boy needs the money. So all right. Okay. I'm kind of thinking like I almost don't want to have this here. Oh. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I wish that there was a mask delete button because this is just me playing around. I don't want this. Okay. But here's what I want to do. I want, let's see, market. Let's say the market is going to be like over here. It's height. Okay. We're gonna do. Here. We're still learning, ladies and gents. We are still learning. I would deduct that OT when it's tax time, but I honestly there's not going to be enough OT for me to actually benefit from taking any itemized deductions as opposed to standard. I don't think. I don't really have like considering that I don't think like what money I've spent on this channel specifically. Well, first of all, we don't have a like an LLC established for this channel. Although it's probably something, considering we're monetized on Kick, that might be something that we should really look into. But that was something that we were thinking about doing whenever we get monetized on YouTube. And that's still, I mean, at the rate we're going, you know, I hate to say it, but that's probably still going to be a ways away. because we're just now at, about the halfway point to the base level monetization. And it's an unfortunate fact that the niche that we're in with the tabletop gaming space it's kind of a small niche, it's very difficult to grow in that area, which sucks because it's, there is a lot of work that goes into production of some of this stuff. It should be part of the standard because there is a $25,000 OT deduction because the bill passed. Oh, okay. So that's news to me. I did not know that, but that's why instead of doing my own taxes, I should definitely pay somebody to do it. What are my thoughts on the Saudis buying EA and the rights to Mass Effect? So I don't know. I think that I'm expressing my opinion here without having played much of anything, or without having played the game in particular, but with seeing what I saw with what they did with Dragon Age, in Vanguard, I think that the Saudis are going to be a lot more profit driven as opposed to ideologically driven. And I don't think that there's really much of a case that somebody can make that that the creators behind Dragon Age Veilguard were ideologically driven. Like, I think that that's just an undeniable fact. Now, I don't know. But then again, I don't know, because I know that, a lot of people who are, Muslims are very ideologically driven. So I don't know, honestly. So, it's kind of, it could go either way, honestly. Now, they bought Battlefield, which I love Battlefield. And that one, I think we're never going to see a Middle Eastern bad guy again, at least not coming out of DICE. So the ones with the campaigns about them going over to, the Middle East and kind of simulating the conflict that goes on over there, that's not going to happen anymore. And I think that, I'm kind of fine with that. It gets tired whenever Russia's the bad guy every time, which I'll give them credit. Russia is not the bad guy in this most recent Battlefield. But as far as BioWare, Veilguard, that's what it was, not Vanguard, Veilguard. Yeah, they changed it from party based to yeah. No, hearing what some of the game developers had to say from BioWare, and even some of the people from, I think it was from EA. They were either in EA or BioWare itself, or maybe it was an ex-BioWare dev. I can't remember exactly what it was, so I might need to be fact-checked. But one of them, basically came out and said that there is an ideological bias within BioWare that is going to have to be that they're not going to be able to create games with anymore over at BioWare. But it wasn't like the guy who was talking about it wasn't in the direction that it sounds like. He was basically saying that because they were not going to be able to put their messaging in games, that's going to hurt BioWare's bottom line. I don't think that's true. I think people are sick of people putting real world messaging in games. You know, like messaging is fine if it's confined to the game space. You know, it's just like, you know, the morals of the characters can be confined to the game space. I don't see why that's such a problem. You can write a character that is horribly racist and not be racist yourself. It's like it's a possibility, and it's so narrow for people to think that you can't have that kind of thing to make a good story. Like, you can still have people with redeeming qualities that also have these horrible flaws. I really don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, I think that in certain respects the quality will improve. In certain respects it'll probably decline, because everybody's got their own agenda. Hopefully, and this is going to sound weird, but hopefully the Saudis' agenda is money. And in that, I hope that causes them to create better products, innovate. Because the Saudis understand Western markets, at least the way that Western markets have been for the last, 80 years, and that the Western markets respond to innovation. And that's what they need to do. Yeah, Ashley was kind of racist in Mass Effect 1. Yeah, she was. Yeah, I agree, Paul. Yeah, it would help the bottom line to not put in the crazy ideology. That's why I'm saying, like, the guy who was talking about the fact that BioWare is such an ideologically driven company. Like, he was basically saying that, like, yeah, if they can't put messaging in their games, then it'll hurt their bottom line. I disagree 100%. Vehemently, I disagree. I just want a game to play by its own rules in the world that it builds. I don't want it to play by my rules. That's why it's called escapism. If I wanted to play something that played by the rules of the real world, it would be a simulator. You can have something that it's like, magic systems. Magic doesn't work in the real world. But if you've got a solid framework as to how it works in that world, you don't have to suspend your disbelief for it. You don't want to be biased against the Saudis as a people. You just hate monarchies. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like I said, as long as the incentive for making the games is profit and the method of making profit is innovation, I am fine with it. But so long as it's not like, we exchange one bit of messaging for another, that's what I would like to avoid, if at all possible. Maybe I need to make these bigger. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Here, let's do this. We're going to move all of this stuff back in here. Sorry, you ran. No, dude, that's what I've just been doing for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, we do have proof it's bad for the bottom line. I mean, look at like Sweet Baby Ink. Basically anything that that word gets around that they've worked on, it belly flops. You know, like it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People don't want to be preached at, and that goes any given way. I don't think people want to be preached at in general. It just doesn't. Like, if I wanted to be preached at, I would go to church. You know, I save that for Sundays. Is there like a... Okay. Market. Okay. So... I think there would be... This is interesting. Okay, so it like... Uh... Interesting. Okay. Um... Oh, man. Why... Ground with wood, ground with cobblestones, ground with dirt. Bah, 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 bah. Why does he keep doing this? Oh, I see what it, okay. It's just wide. Okay, so we get those roads coming together. Um, this one. Mass Effect 3 did heavy-handed with the... Well, a little bit, but it wasn't so... I don't know. It might have been a little heavy-handed, but at the same time, I don't think it was quite so... It wasn't as bad as a lot of stuff is now. Like, I don't know if it didn't really present it as a virtue. You know what I mean? At least I don't think it did. It was weird when they said that all of a sudden Caden could go either way. It's like, oh, okay, well that's a fundamental character change. But yeah, it wasn't presented as virtuous. You know what I mean? Was Ashley really racist when she was proven right? The other species were just out for themselves. Look at the Asari and ME3. They lied to the entire galaxy for 200 years to stay on top. Or 2,000 years, yeah. Well, actually, you know what? You got a good point. Like, you know. I think that... So that's a... I don't know. That's a good question because I think that... Oh, man. You could still be racist without being... wrong about something, you know what I mean? But corporate liberalism is fake. Yeah, I think I think inherently I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe. I think that there's definitely some profit motive in all of the decisions that these that they make, especially like when it comes to that messaging, because there was a time when the market was with that kind of thing, and but I think that was because that was what people told that's what people told the developers of these games and this and TV shows and stuff like that. Like they were told that that people want to hear all of this liberal messaging. And while that, I don't think that was necessarily true, people bought it anyway because that's what was being made. And now we're at a juncture where people aren't buying it anymore. People are buying the stuff that is free of all of the messaging and stuff like that because it's just not what people want. It's like I said before, people don't want people don't want to be preached at. Now, that being said, while the decision makers might not necessarily be considered corporate liberals, they do explicitly hire people who subscribe to that kind of thing. And that is, I mean, you can look at environmental social governance scores. The company I work for has an environmental social governance report that they put out every year. A lot of diversity and inclusion policies that are still in existence. So I don't know. I would say that corporate liberalism is that's a tough one, man. Because corporate liberalism is a thing. It's definitely a thing. And you can see it in the policies that some of these big corporations make. But in the end, it's all about what makes the shareholders money. And that's why I think a lot of companies are turning tail on some of this stuff, is because these policies are no longer making them money. But there are still going to be shreds of it left in areas where money isn't necessarily a factor. Ergo, the diversity and inclusion policies. Until a lot of that stuff doesn't even necessarily have to make them money, so long as it doesn't lose them money. Because a lot of people, like myself, don't necessarily think about it every day, but there are people who do think about it every day, who think that it's 100% necessary for companies and things like that to adhere to these policies. And so, I think it's always going to be a thing, because making sure that there's no public outcry against a given company is mandatory. Like you have to make sure that press is good press. I don't think the case that bad press, or there is no such thing as bad press, that doesn't always apply. So you have to try to satisfy everybody you have to try to satisfy the most vocal population. And there are those of us who are not vocal about a lot of stuff. And there are people who are extremely vocal about mundane, stupid things. All the shuttle pilot did while losing his bedroom docking port until you help him with his trauma. Yeah. Yep. In 5 years, they will go back to being super liberal again. Maybe. I mean, you might be right. I don't know, man. I think it does follow. It follows public sentiment to an extent by who they put into office. You know what I mean? I think 2016 to 2020 was a bit of an anomaly, because the liberalism just got ramped up to 11 during that point in time. And only kind of towards the end of Biden's administration did we start seeing a slight reversion backwards, like the pendulum is swinging backwards. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you've never heard anyone talk about ESG outside of the internet or see it advertised. I mean, it's there. Because I was, when I was filling in, doing quote unquote overtime, basically I just had to be another warm body inside the branch, so that way somebody wasn't there by themselves. It's policy that there have to be 2 people in a branch when it's open. So I wasn't really doing much of anything. I was just kind of sitting there, but I was looking through our website, and I found like the ESG report. And these are documents that you could probably find for just about any company, so long as they participate in it. And it goes over a lot of stuff like, dedication to green initiatives, like going paperless, being more energy efficient, diversity and inclusion is also a thing in there. They talk about like, they'll put statistics in there such as this is how many people of color were hired over the course of the year. This is how many women were hired over the course of the year. Just different things like that. And like, you know, I don't really, I don't know how useful that information is, to be honest, outside of, like, unless you've got board members or donors or something like that actually finds that kind of stuff important. I don't see how useful that information is. In all honesty, if a company is making money, it's making money. That's why, like, everybody always says it's not about what color somebody is. It's about, are they good at their job? Do they make money for the company? That's it. Like, I don't know why it has to be more complicated than that. Dang it, I don't want it there. I don't want that little node there. I want another node. Watching Moss become radicalized in real time. Dude, you might not be as far off as you think. Yeah. I would agree with that. It's about communism, socialism, and more importantly, globalization. I think communism and socialism are kind of like are kind of gateways to get there because they feel good, they sound good. Um, but but globalization, I think, is the more important thing. And the thing is like there are. I don't understand why it's so difficult for some people to grasp the fact that certain cultures are incompatible. They don't work together. So, like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm just some stupid guy on the internet, so what I say doesn't really matter. It's room objects. Let's do There always seem to be a lot of man jobs, like moving heavy things and fixing things. No women jobs, though, because they can do anything. Right. Well, I mean, what was it? Was it Sweden? I want to say it was Sweden that had a lot of initiatives to kind of blend the workplace and get, more women in male-dominated jobs and more men in female-dominated jobs. And it ended up, like, they did a study afterwards where it ended up that the workplace was more segregated than before. Like, women gravitated towards things like nursing, caregiving, teaching, and men gravitated towards things like construction, physically demanding jobs, jobs that require a lot of long hours, that kind of thing. Like, the more it went to show that, like, the more egalitarian a society, the more people tend to gravitate towards different things. Like, the sexual dichotomy it's a legit thing, and people tend to gravitate towards certain things. Keyword tend to. I don't understand. Like, I have conversations with people and they don't understand when people talk about things in averages. It's like, yeah, okay. There's a woman who works in the mechanic shop at my Honda dealership. Okay. That doesn't change the law of averages. You know what I mean? Careful, Moss. People might think you believe men and women are inherently different. Oh, mercy me. If people thought that I thought that. Oh, may God have mercy on my soul if that was ever to come to light. I mean, if people were to ever have that misconception, I would never, ever say such a thing. No one understands generalities. Exactly. It's like it's whenever you say something like, well, say, for example, if I were to say, on average, women tend to gravitate towards men who are taller, who have a higher proportion of income. And then they'll come to you and say, well, I have a friend who's 5'5" and works at McDonald's, and he's got like 3 kids and a wife. I'm like, okay, that's why I said on average. Like, there's a little test that I've heard performed, where if you ask somebody, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning? And depending on their answer, you can tell kind of where their mentality's at, whether or not they can think in hypotheticals. If their answer is something like, oh, well, I would imagine I would probably feel hungry right about now, then, they can, you can tell that they can think in hypotheticals. If their answer is like, well, I did have breakfast, but I didn't have breakfast, then you can tell that they are incapable of thinking in hypotheticals. For the most part, it's not a foolproof social test, but you get the point. You can really tell how somebody thinks based on how they answer questions. I think that's why people use the Socratic method a lot. They ask questions in order to enhance their argument. That's why if I'm having a conversation with somebody, and I don't think that I'm really that smart. I'm not intelligent really at all. I'm probably have an average IQ, if not lower. But I'll ask people questions about things to get them to clarify a point and to get them to solidify their stance so I can understand exactly where they stand on something. Because if you don't set like a ground level foundation on somebody's argument, then they can move around in it and not really, and they won't necessarily be able to see any contradictions in what they're saying. It's like I was having a conversation with somebody about morals at one point, and like whether or not morals are objective or subjective. If you could have an objective morality, or if morals are all just subjective depending on the person. And the great, the stream has devolved into talking about feelings on breakfast skipping. Yeah, the cry circle. Well, hold on, what time is it? It is 10:44 right now. The cry circle is at noon, right after I have breakfast, because I have yet to eat breakfast yet. But yeah, the predominant portion of what I was telling this person, or not even telling, the predominant aspect of what I was saying to this person was mostly just trying to get them to solidify what they were talking about, because their viewpoint was that morals are subjective, in that, you know, something that might be morally wrong for somebody might be morally correct for somebody else. And I was basically just asking, I was like, so there's absolutely nothing that somebody can do that you think might be morally wrong to everybody? And she's like, no, I don't think so. I think that I think that something can be morally right for somebody that might be morally wrong for somebody else. And I said, okay, so if I was walking down the street, if I was just walking down the sidewalk, and somebody who I had never met before, never seen before, and who's never seen me, comes up and shoots me in the back of the head, do you think there is ever a situation where somebody might view that as morally correct? Well, yeah, exactly. Thank you, fantastic. Also another fantastic example. I don't know how the conversation devolved into this. This is a map making stream. Welcome to Saturday morning, where conversation devolves into things like this. Dang it. Natural law, things that are universally right and wrong based on Montesquieu's spirit of the laws. I'm not familiar with that. I know that you, my friend, are educated in that kind of thing. But I do also, I would agree with the natural law. I think there are natural laws. Whether, depending on, you can have different thoughts about the origin of natural law. But I think that natural law is definitely a thing. I just want to see what this looks like. District of Farmers. I don't know how this is a district of farmers, really. Hmm. All right. Let's see. Where am I at? Can I save this? We're going to go ahead and save this. What do I want to call it? Random map. There we go. We'll just call it random map. And we'll probably rename it later. But I think for now, your boy is getting hungry because he did not eat breakfast and he doesn't feel great. The fact that he did not eat breakfast. So your boy's going to go eat breakfast. And by your boy, I mean me. Let me get myself switched over to my ugly, ugly, ugly mug. All right. So let's see what's coming up. Obviously, as I was saying earlier on in the stream, I've been putting a ton of hours into getting the next couple of campaigns. Shut up, Chris Hanth. Into getting the next couple of campaigns ready to go. Unfortunately, that does take quite a bit of time, but we do have a date for Masks of Nyarlathotep. We're going to do a streamed character creation. I think it's November 10th, I want to say. Other than that, I've got the Electric State going on, and I'm hoping to start production on that very soon. I know it's very bright. Yeah, other than that, you can catch me on Sans Friday night, Friday nights over on Strange Aeons on Moonskull, and then over on Avenue Studios channel on Thursdays for their Nova Beasts campaign. So keep an eye out for all of those. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put another map up on Patreon for those of you who support us over there. I know we've been very inactive over there, and I do apologize for that. I want to get better at doing a lot of that, but it turns out that your boy needs an assistant. So anyway. Oh, yes, and Goblin Slayer. Thank you. Goblin Slayer goes up on Mondays, and that's a very fun one. It's very anime, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So go and check that out as well if you haven't already. And I suppose with that, I will bid you all adieu, auf Wiedersehen, Gesundheit, and God bless.